Hi everyone, I'm Pat Prokop and I'm out here in the heavenly backyard garden. The temperature right now is in the middle 90s. This is late Sunday afternoon, July the 2nd, but the heat index, or how it feels, is in the lower 100s. And it's going to get even hotter tomorrow and for the 4th of July, Independence Day on Tuesday. Now we're looking at near record highs, but I don't know if we're going to break the record highs. The record high for tomorrow is 100, set back just a few years ago in 2019. And the record high actually is a record waiting to be broken for July 4th here in Savannah. That record is 99 degrees, set back in 1979. We're going to be flirting with those temperatures, but the heat index, how it actually feels, is going to be even hotter. As a matter of fact, it'll be in the danger zone, above 100, approaching the very dangerous zone at 110 or above. Yeah, that's what it's going to feel like. I'm going to be talking about the effects of the heat index on the human body and the toll it can take if you don't respect it, let's say. And also, what about rain? We haven't had any rain in the last couple days, even though the last 3 months we were at normal or above normal rainfall for this area, so that's good. But it looks like the weather pattern is going back to the wet side once again, and it looks like some rain is on the way. So let's talk about that, and let's talk about the heat and try to cool off somewhat. See you inside. Okay, I'm back inside in the air conditioning, and boy, that feels much better. Anyway, let's go to the maps right now because there's a lot going on, basically temperature-wise, across the region. So with that being said, there we are. The maps over here, we are under a heat advisory in much of the southeast United States, except for the Florida Peninsula. But most of Georgia and all of South Carolina, North Carolina, back into Alabama, Mississippi, and portions of Louisiana and Arkansas under a heat advisory for today and tomorrow. This area over here in the Ohio Valley and Tennessee Valley, that is a severe thunderstorm watch for that area, and excessive heat problems over here in the southwest United States, and heat advisories going all the way up into the western portions of Oregon. All right, let's take a look at the conditions right now. And we can see quite a bit of hot temperatures. These are the heat index values across the southern portion of the United States, and also up in the portions of North and South Dakota and over into south central portions of Canada. And looking at the conditions as we go into this afternoon, Sunday, here we go. And we see those values again well into the upper 90s and lower 100s. And this is the forecast value for July the 4th. And we'll be flirting with the 100-degree mark heat index-wise in the lower 100s at that. About 104, 105 degrees perhaps in the Savannah area, approaching 110 degrees in some locations. That's for Tuesday, and for Monday, expect to see the values again very hot in the low hundreds to about 105 to 110 degrees across our region, and again up even in the northern portion of the country in North and South Dakota. Let's look at something else closer to home. This is the national North American model right over here. Some of the digital output from that, and this is for Savannah, Hunter Army Airfield area, and it forecasting heat index about 113 degrees tomorrow afternoon, Monday afternoon, and again about the same thing for Tuesday, 4th of July, Independence Day. Statesboro, about the same thing, a 1 or 2 degree difference. But the difference in Statesboro to Savannah is the models are predicting a little bit more rain to the west of Interstate 95 on Monday. And Statesboro, according to this model, is expected to get over an inch of rain. Maybe some rain in the greater Savannah area, but we're going to hold off probably until Tuesday and Wednesday before any rain start falling into our area around here. But I want to talk more about the heat, because heat, believe it or not, is one of the largest killers weather-wise. It kills more people than hurricanes and tornadoes combined. And the heat index, it kind of sneaks up on you, the heat illness and heat effects from the heat values. And the problem here is the combination of the temperature and the humidity. And when you mix the two, the higher the humidity value, the relative humidity, the less evaporation you have from off your skin. And if you think of your body like a radiator, giving off, taking away heat like a car radiator, it takes away the heat from the engine, so the engine works more efficiently. If the engine gets hot, it's less efficient. Well, the same thing is true with the human body. If you got too much heat build up and you can't get rid of it, it starts affecting the internal portions of the human body, and that becomes very dangerous, particularly with the muscles and even the internal organs. If you can't sweat, you can't get rid of the heat. Sweating takes away the heat, the evaporation from the sweating. Now, if the humidity is low, you get plenty of evaporation, and you cool off a little bit easier. But as you increase the humidity, things change, and you get less evaporational cooling on the body, and the water beads up and drops off, and you don't get much heat relief from the water just dropping off. You get much more heat relief if the water evaporates off. So here's what we have. Because of that, these values over here give you some idea. Looking at the heat index, here you have it right here. Caution between 80 and 90 degrees, fatigue possible with prolonged exposure with outdoor physical activity. And then as the temperature goes up, the caution goes up to extreme caution when you get up above 100 degrees, and then it becomes dangerous. When it gets above 100 to 105, 110 degrees, it becomes very dangerous to be outside and doing any prolonged activity in the heat. You could get heat exhaustion likely and heat stroke possible with prolonged exposure in these conditions. And then above 110 degrees, heat cramps or heat exhaustion is likely if you're doing any moderate to short even outdoor activities, physical activities, and heat exhaustion and heat stroke is possible. And then anything above 125 is just insane, but it won't happen often, but it could if you're ever caught in that ability. Just stay inside. I mean, heat stroke is highly likely any short activity outside in temperatures of 125 or above heat index wise. But we might see this very dangerous category popping up in some of the areas tomorrow and again on Tuesday, where heat cramps and heat exhaustion are likely and heat stroke is possible with short to moderate exposed and or physical activity out in the sun. And also keep in mind, if you're out in the full sun, particularly between 11 o'clock in the morning and 2 o'clock in the afternoon, that's when you have the most intense solar radiation in our area, that you can add up to 15 degrees from absorbed ultraviolet radiation, which is also heat, and that could be absorbed into the body, increasing the heat index value. So for tomorrow, expect to see that heat index in the about 105 to 110 degrees in the greater Savannah area. Now, as we go further to the inland areas around Brunswick, around 110 for tomorrow, and Jessup about the same, Waycross about the same, St. Simon's about 111 degree heat index value for tomorrow. And then for Tuesday, the values are a little bit lower, but not much, still in the dangerous zone. And then getting a little less heat on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Let's take a look at the conditions across the severe weather potential. And there is a risk for severe weather on Sunday afternoon, Sunday evening to the north of Savannah, particularly in the Ohio and Tennessee River Valley. And then you go into Monday, July the 3rd, a slight risk of activity in the Mid-Atlantic coastal states with a marginal risk in portions of Georgia and just about all of South Carolina. Those will be afternoon and evening thunderstorms. And then as you go into the 4th of July day, Tuesday, there's a marginal risk of severe thunderstorms throughout a good portion of Georgia and all of South Carolina. And then up in the upper Mississippi Valley into the Central Plains, they're expecting possibility of severe weather there as well. Now, as we look back at the current conditions, the Sunday afternoon, there is severe weather conditions going on across the Ohio River Valley and the Tennessee River Valley down into the Alabama area, and also in and around eastern Pennsylvania, New Jersey, and New York City, having a threat of severe weather there. So let's take a look at the GOES satellite imagery, and there you can see those thunderstorms popping up over here in Tennessee and northern Alabama into northwest Georgia. Another band developing over there in central Virginia, heading toward the mid-Atlantic states, Delaware and New Jersey and New York City. All right, there's the lightning. A lot of lightning associated with this, as you would expect with the hot temperatures. That usually gives you the conditions for the development of lightning and lightning strikes. And we're going to start seeing some of that on Tuesday and then going into Wednesday and Thursday. I want to look at the models right now because look right over here. There you can see this is for Sunday at late afternoon, early evening hours, the thunderstorms in the inland areas, and then they dry out during the night. But then comes Monday, and then the afternoon, we start seeing showers and thunderstorms developing in coastal Georgia and southern South Carolina. And again, across the mid-Atlantic coastal states into the New York City and Boston area, scattered thunder showers across the middle portion of the country. And then as we go into Tuesday, the 4th of July, during the afternoon, we start seeing those showers and thunderstorms developing once again in the afternoon hours. And then we're going to start seeing that just about every day for the rest of the week. And along with the thunder showers, yeah, sure, you're going to have some gusty winds and heavy rains and some possibility of lightning strikes, but also you're going to get the cooler temperatures be associated with that. And speaking of cooler temperatures, my 6-week weather outlook right over here, calling for this week to be above normal. That's a gimme. It's going to be hot this weekend, the extended weekend for the 4th of July, Independence Day. And then next week, July 10th through the 16th, it's just slightly above normal. Normal high in Savannah now is about 92, 93 degrees. Normal low is in the middle 70s. And about the same thing for the next 3, 4, 5, and 6 weeks from now. Rainfall above normal for this week and above normal for the following week, and then back to around normal rain conditions. But normal rain is about 1.5 inches per week, so we could see quite a bit of rain over the next several days. But it's going to be hot, so with that being said, let's go back out in the garden. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video and got something out of it, and I hope you got information about just what the heat index really is, and to respect that value, because it takes a toll on the human body, and sometimes it sneaks up on you and you don't even know that you're being affected by the heat. It shows up sometimes 4, 5, even 8 hours later, and you're wondering, why am I so tired? Why do I have cramps? Why am I so listless? Well, that's heat illness, and that's the first phase of heat exhaustion. And beyond heat exhaustion is very dangerous. That's heat stroke. You don't want to get that if you don't have to do that, if you don't have to get it. Anyway, be very cautious. Have a lot of fun this extended holiday weekend. Again, the weather is going to be somewhat hot, as we know, but it's always hot in July in Savannah. And watch out for those afternoon and evening thunderstorms. They're going to be popping up here and there and around the facility, so keep an eye on that, and particularly for the lightning strikes that could follow with those thunderstorms. And hopefully some cooler temperature, well, let's call it less hot temperatures coming in for near the end of the week. So if you like this video, please hit the like. If you have any comments, put some comments over here as well. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please subscribe to my weather and nature page right here on YouTube. With that being said, I'm going back inside where it's air conditioned. I'm standing here sweating just talking about the weather, and I'm going to go back inside. So stay cool this 4th of July, and happy Independence Day.